They tied the record, but couldn't grab it all to themselves. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Inside Michigan Basketball. I'm Matt Shepard. This Michigan basketball team tied the record set by the 1985-86 Michigan Basketball Club with a 16-0 start. They were so close to setting the record all to themselves, but stumbled in Columbus. Michigan's first possession was solid. It was a three by Trey Burke, but from that point on, it was all Ohio State in the first half, taking advantage of Michigan's poor 37% shooting and 9 turnovers.
Morgan to Hardaway, a drive, a lean, a block by Smith. Here comes Thompson to Smith. Smith scoops and lays it in.
Buckeyes led by as many as 21 in the opening half, but the Wolverines would cut it down to 12 thanks to an unlikely offensive source in Spike Albrecht.
Back on the wing and a bounce pass. Albrecht jumps into a triple try. Got it. Spike Albrecht has come in and given Michigan a huge lift.
Michigan was able to get out and run in the second half, and they started dialing in from long range. Trey Burke, Tim Hardaway, Glenn Robinson all starting to heat up.
Up the left sideline for Burke.
Go.
And alley-oop. Hardaway jams it down! Time and place, and boy, was that awesome. Burke against Kraft, behind the back dribble, pull up Jay, money from the right wing. Burke and Michigan pull to within 4. Burke one-on-one, tosses back, Robinson eyes the three. Book it from the right side. We're knotted up at 46.
But Michigan couldn't hold on and couldn't convert late, and Ohio State did. The Buckeyes win it 56-53 for their 9th straight home win in the series. Our Al Roll Steel Iron Man of the Week, Trey Burke, the point guard from Columbus, who returned back to take on the Buckeyes and lead Michigan in scoring.
We had some turnovers, some critical turnovers in the first half, and they made us pay. We, forced some shots, and I think that starts, with my play. I think I forced a couple shots, and, it kind of turned around and bit us in the butt.
A really good defensive team, but you guys were able to charge back and tie the game. What was the biggest reason for that? It looked like you guys were able to get out and run a little bit.
Yeah, getting out of transition, taking smart shots on the offensive end. In the beginning, we kind of settled too much, and we weren't getting the best shots that we could get, but I think that's something we did in the second half, and that's why we were able to fight for the win.
We need to slow the game down, play our basketball. I thought we did a good job of that in the second half, and that's what kind of brought us back.
What did you learn out of this experience, do you think, as a club?
That we just got to stay composed, like I've been saying. We got to get defensive stops. When we get defensive stops, we got to take care of the ball and then get good shots on the offensive end the next possession, especially when we're down. We can't be shooting a lot of threes and a lot of risky shots. We got to take the ball to the hoop.
You didn't get a sense that there was any intimidation in the arena on this club, did you?
I think first couple minutes we were moving too fast. We turned the ball over a couple times, which normally we don't do. We had 9 turnovers in the first half, and we don't even average that many, I don't think.
First loss of the season, what do you tell your guys after a tough one like that?
Well, I'll tell you, just like any loss, these are really gifts if you look at it the right way. You can really learn from these experiences. So I was proud of the way our guys competed. I mean, we really went after them, maybe too much at times. As far as this is not always a game of just energy. There's got to be really we play hard, and then we say play smart. And those are important things. We got to do both of those things. So we'll get better from it.
Slower start than you would have expected. What do you think the difference was at the beginning?
Oh, their defense was outstanding. I'm telling everybody in the press conference, Ohio State plays great defense. They play tremendous defense, and it is tough for any. Just look at the numbers. We're not the lone ranger on this thing. They shut people down at home, and as I've said, we had a very young team, and when you get hit with that first time, sometimes it can make you stagger back. I love the way we fought back from that.
So you're down 21, and you guys do fight back. It seemed like you got out in transition and made some big threes. Trey Burke, Tim Hardaway, Glenn Robinson with some big ones down the stretch.
Yeah, that's why I'm so encouraged by today's game that we got better through adversity in the middle of the game. They learn a lot of what we've been talking with them, and our guys can't wait to get back and coach them, and obviously that includes me.
What do you say to your freshmen? It's always difficult to try and tell somebody something before they experience it. Now that they've experienced it, what kind of feedback have they given you?
Well, I think that I see the feedback they give me most, Matt, is coach, every practice they're focused and ready to get better. And that's really huge for us that they can do that.
Stay with us a little bit later on. Competition on the floor, but without a basketball. Up next, the head coach rejoins us to discuss how his team matched the school record for best start in history with a win over Nebraska. Inside Michigan Basketball is brought to you in part by the University of Michigan CS Mott Children's Hospital, mottchildren.org, and by Absol Pure Water, Michigan's favorite spring water and official bottled water of the Michigan Wolverines. Go to absolpure.com. Michigan started the week by improving to 5-0 all-time at home in the series against Nebraska, 8-2 overall against the Cornhuskers. But, Coach, it was a lot more difficult than people outside your locker room thought it would be.
Yeah, you got to give a lot of credit to Nebraska that they really guarded us very well. They had a good plan. They shortened the game. It was a small possession game, and smaller possessions, and we had to attack the right way. I thought a couple times we lost a little bit of focus of what it was going to do to beat that type of defense. But our defense was terrific. I mean, the whole night. We gave up some early baskets, but after that, our defense was very good. So when you have the bad nights offensively, your only salvation is good defense.
You told me and your team after the game that this was a complete opposite of the game prior against Iowa, where you were able to get a lot of shots, and it was a high-scoring game. And it's good to win games like this.
Well, I think it's the only way that Nebraska could have played today was play. They don't have a deep bench. Is play a short possession game. Coach McCafferty at Iowa has a deeper bench, and he likes to play with a higher possession. So, you know, but every shot we went in against Iowa. We had some of those same looks today that didn't go in. That's the way it's going to be, but we still gutted it out. These are the good wins, Matt, actually. These are the really good ones.
These are a little bit of a struggle at the free throw line, which is uncharacteristic of your team this year, but you rebounded 48% of your misses, and that's a big plus, isn't it?
That was really huge for us because I don't know if we're getting those foul shots back, but we got a lot of other ones. But they played a really good containing defense. I think that they are quick and long on the perimeter, so you think you're open, and then all of a sudden there's this big, long hand in front of your face. And that threw us off a little bit. But other than that, we really guarded them well, and that was the difference in the game.
You talk a little bit about what you and your coaches said to your team after the game, that in those team huddles, coaches weren't saying it, players were saying it. Let's play for the next possession. Yeah. That's very important, especially when you're on the road.
Yeah, we needed the players. They really had to come together in timeouts to just talk themselves through it. You know, we give them a few minutes to themselves. And they got to talk through things, and that's really important for us to really talk to each other and say, next play, just move on, all right, forget about it, you know, and move on.
Let's do Coffee with the Coach. It's brought to you by Tim Hortons. Jeff in Granville, Michigan asks, do you ever use NBA tape as a teaching tool?
Well, we use NBA tape for a teaching tool for Coach Beilein. I mean, I don't watch games as much as I will slow down. I'll be watching SportsCenter, and I'll go right up to Pete Carroll and say, show me, you know, something the Nuggets did last night. We have a couple of plays that are right out of that playbook. We ran one the other day. At the same time, with our players, if we're drilling something, and they're not buying in, all right, let's flip it in. Let's watch Paul Pierce do this. Let's watch Chris Paul do this. Let's watch LeBron James do this. All of a sudden, they buy in a lot better. So we try to blend that. We also like to show them how the actions we do are very similar to pro action. People just don't realize it because we may make it. We have a little bit longer shot clock, so we can disguise it till we get there. Very much like pro action, what we run. So as a coach, to our players, we're looking at it all the time.
When we come back, you knew about most of the freshmen. This guy has surprised most people who follow Michigan basketball. The backup to Tim Hardaway and the impact he's had when we return. After battling in a 3-team video game competition on New Year's Eve, 2 winners of the FIFA soccer and NHL hockey game competitions advanced to the video game tournament final, January 7th at Chrysler Center. Team Wolverine, made up of sophomores and juniors, would square off against the investment committee, better known as the seniors. They asked to use the HD video board for the championship match.
We've got connections all around Chrysler, so I got the Xbox from the basketball team and ran video lines around Chrysler into a box that gets us back up to the control room, and then I had to go up on the catwalk and drop the boards down.
The winner of a 4-quarter game of NBA 2K13 would be crowned champion.
Chrysler boards are basically 16 feet wide by 9 feet tall, which actually creates a 230-inch diagonal. So normal people's houses, people probably have a 52, 60-inch TV. This turns out to be 230 inches.
Kids today love their video games. This Michigan squad is extremely competitive in everything they do, especially video games. Wait till you see just how competitive, including Caris LeVert. Here's a guy who comes in to this Michigan basketball program a little unheralded. Not many people knew about him. Originally committed to Ohio, but changed that commitment and took the opportunity to come and play for the Michigan Wolverines. They call him Baby Durant because he is slender, needs to add some weight, there's no question. But for a guy who started the year as a possible redshirt, he's come in to be Tim Hardaway Jr.'s primary backup, and he has shined.
I'm getting a lot more comfortable out there on offense. Like I said, Tim and Trey are doing a great job of just letting me know where to go offensively and just trying to knock down open shots for them.
LeVert has played in the last 11 games after sitting out the first 6 as a redshirt candidate. 2 months ago, John Beilein thought LeVert was too frail to play.
Before I got here, I wasn't doing much. I was basically push-ups and sit-ups, but when I got here, of course, we're doing a lot of stuff like lower body, upper body. So it was kind of shocking my body the first couple of weeks. My body was aching, obviously.
He came in here at 6'6", 162 pounds. He's up to 182 right now. And that just doesn't happen. You know, you gotta train hard. We gotta be very specific with what we do in the weight room with volume and intensity.
I think that weight room helps people go to the basket a great deal. They just feel more confident. It doesn't hurt as much when there's physical contact.
After the first couple of weeks, I saw I was gaining a little bit of weight. Obviously, I said I was getting sore, but I could see it in my arms and things like that.
And while strength and conditioning coach John Sanderson has helped Caris gain some weight through diet and through lifting, the entire staff wants the 18-year-old to eat a lot more.
Yeah, I told him yesterday at training table, this has got to be, would you ever go to the weight room and just sort of do a couple curls and, you know, have a drink of water and get out of there? Well, if you go to the training table and you have one piece of meat and one green bean, it's the same deal. This is your training table. You need to treat it like a fitness center to get stronger.
He has the potential to have the best before and after out of the whole group. But no, but again, he works so hard, and that's what it's all about.
Burke into the front court. Hesitates, now feeds LeVert. He'll take the 3 and make it.
I'm really excited right now, helping my team out there. It's just really fun going out there with a lot of energy. Just giving Tim a break whenever he needs it. It's just really fun for me.
Welcome back to Inside Michigan Basketball. You know, the basketball programs here at Michigan have it rolling, not just the men, but the women as well. They had an 8-game roll going into the game against Wisconsin on Sunday. Sarah Van Meter joins us to tell us whether or not the Wolverines could make it 9 in a row.
Michigan survived a low-scoring and poor shooting performance against the Badgers to win their 9th consecutive game. It took the Wolverines more than 6 minutes to score, and this Jenny Ryan three-point play late in the first half cut Wisconsin's lead to 21-19 at the break. Sophomore Nicole Elmblad's first basket of the game early in the second half gave Michigan the lead for good. Senior Jenny Ryan led the Wolverines with a career-high 19 points as Michigan remains unbeaten at 3-0 in Big Ten play with a 54-43 win over Wisconsin. The Maize and Blue traveled Northwestern on Thursday. Rachel Sheffer needs 12 more points to reach the 1,000 career point mark. She was the team's most improved player her freshman and sophomore seasons before being named Michigan's MVP last year. She seems to succeed at everything she does. Rachel was a 3-sport star in high school and was offered a volleyball scholarship to Michigan State before Michigan came calling.
I chose basketball for college just because of the opportunity to play here at Michigan and everything. But, you know, volleyball, I always have a place in my heart.
Sheffer has played a major role in helping this team stay in the moment.
That's the difference between winning and losing close games, is to have players that are willing to sacrifice sometimes their own individual points or their own individual shots for the good of the team. And Rachel, what Rachel's #1 care in the world for is for us to be successful.
Although there's plenty of season remaining, Rachel is thinking about her future.
Every day there's like life lessons in every little thing you do, and that's something that you really don't look at freshman, sophomore, junior year. You kind of just are, freshman year, you're getting through the day, you know, you have a lot, you're overwhelmed with a lot of things. So, I mean, I think just knowing that there's so much to, like, take from every day that you live and just being able to embrace it. Jenny and I have been talking about owning a business together, so we've kind of been looking into that a little bit. Eventually, I do want to own some type of business or franchise.
Rachel and classmate Jenny Ryan have been roommates for 4 years. They're not sure which business to get involved with, but Coach has an idea.
One of my first times meeting them this summer, they came in to get a workout in the morning, and then they were leaving to go fishing. So I guess that's, a Michigan thing. And I found that quite interesting. And they gave me the whole lowdown on fishing and where they get bait and where they go to fish. They would both be excellent coaches and teachers and great leaders. So maybe they should start a fishing academy. I think that would be great. Once
The last semester of senior year, you're like, wow, I'm about to be alumni. So, I will be a Michigan woman for the rest of my life. And that's something, not everyone can say, but you can take it anywhere in the world, and they'll know when you say Michigan woman what you're talking about. So that's really cool.
Rachel's hometown has just one traffic light, so Ann Arbor has been a huge change for her. She's enjoyed her time at Michigan, but can't wait to see what her life has in store for her. For Inside Michigan Basketball, I'm Sarah Van Meter.
All right, Sarah, thanks. Whether you play video games or not, who wouldn't want to participate in a video game battle on this big screen? Find out who wins between Team Wolverine and the Investment Committee next. New Year's Eve video game tournament, soccer and hockey. That's what determined the final pairing at Chrysler Center earlier this week. Sophomores and juniors then battled the seniors in NBA 2K13. 4 team members would play a quarter. The seniors picked Oklahoma City to represent, while the underclassmen chose the Miami Heat. Blake McLyman's got the seniors a comfortable first quarter lead against Jordan Morgan. Tim Hardaway Jr. and Corey Person grabbed the controllers for the next quarter. The seniors, better known as the Investment Committee, took a 36-28 lead into a brief intermission. You know how composed Trey Burke is on the floor for the Wolverines. Well, he's nothing like that when it comes to video games. In the third quarter, he was constantly in Max Bielfeld's ear, coaching him up against Matt Vogrich.
I didn't know any of the buttons, basically. I knew the basic ones. Kind of give you some tips on what to do, how to put me in like a zone or whatever, so I want to get beat every time on offense. But yeah, so he helped me out a little bit.
When you see me playing a video game, this is a whole different personality that I show, just because I love playing video games. That's just one of my favorite hobbies since I was, a little kid. So just growing up, when I would lose in a video game, I would just get mad, throw a fit. And, you seen it out there playing against the guys. When we went up, I showed a lot of emotion just because I love playing video games. And it was just fun.
The seniors held a 10-point lead heading into the fourth quarter, and it was time for Burke to back up all his words against Esso Acuna. Trey led Team Wolverine all the way back. Burke or LeBron James, depending on who you credit, tied the game at 66 late. But again, senior experience paid off as Esso hit big shots late, giving the Investment Committee the 7-point victory at Chrysler Center.
I wasn't rattled, but everyone was trying to say I was. But, I got my composure, and then I finished the game. And at the last 3 minutes, I figured out how to really shoot. So I hit a couple threes, then I hit a 3 in transition with Durant, and it sealed the game. So
you got the best of Trey.
Exactly, yeah.
I guess experience pays off even in video games. Glad you could join us for this week's edition of Inside Michigan Basketball. We invite you back next week where we recap 2 games. The men on Thursday night at the Barn in Minnesota against a very athletic Gophers club. The women on the road against the Wildcats at Northwestern. Until then, have a great week, everybody, and go Blues. Inside Michigan Basketball is brought to you in part by the University of Michigan C.S. Mott Children's Hospital, mottchildren.org. And by Absol Pure Water, Michigan's favorite spring water and official bottled water of the Michigan Wolverines. Go to absolpure.com.